Hello everybody, how are you this morning? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to talk to you today about your inner voices. You know, we all have them. You know, some people call it self-talk, some people call it inner voices, some people call it the voices within your head. It doesn't matter what you call it. As you listen to those inner voices, you have to really be cognizant of, is it your inner voice? Because I find so many people will be like, you know, why don't you do this, or why don't you apply for that job, or why don't you go do this, and they'll be like, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not pretty enough. And that's your inner voice. That's your programming from childhood probably, where you were constantly told you're not something, and you buy it as your truth. You really believe that that is now your truth, that you're not smart enough because, well, I didn't do well in high school. I mean, in my case, I didn't do well, period, at all. You know, I graduated in the bottom 5%. Doesn't mean I'm not smart. Of course I'm smart. It took me years to realize that, because I had the programming in my head that I was not smart, that I was special needs, that I couldn't figure stuff out. And I had to find my truth. And you have to take the time to find your truth, to find what voice in your head is yours and what voice in your head is the pre-programming, the childhood shadow imprints that are put on you by somebody else. And sometimes it's the most innocent comment that you make into a bigger voice. And if you've had a lot of adversity in your life, a lot of bad things that have happened to you, your inner voice is ramped up even higher. I find that people that have had bad childhoods or bad divorces or bad, you know, whatever, bad outcomes or whatever it is, you know, they got fired from a job, their voices in their head turn negatively because that's what they were told. I mean, when you get fired from a job, it doesn't mean you didn't do the job well. It meant the job wasn't for you. But you take the fire when somebody says, you know, you're a slug and you're not any good at this and you're not good at what you do. No, that job wasn't your jam. You just needed to move on. So the universe was like, okay, let's move on so you can find a job that is your jam. So whenever you hear something, when you think, you know what, when I get up tomorrow, I'm going to go apply for my dream job. I have this job, my gosh, I want it more than anything in the world. They're hiring right now, I'm going to go apply for them. Then you get up the next morning, you're like, well, you know, I got to, you know, kind of pet the dog, and I got to go get gas in my car, and I probably should go get groceries. And before you know it, it's a week later and the job's filled. Because you allowed your inner voice, somebody else's voice, to say, who are you to think you could get that job? Who are you to think that you can make that kind of money? When really you should be saying, who am I not? When you hear that inner voice, I would stop and ask, universe, is that my voice or is it pre-programming? And if you ask the universe, as I said yesterday, and as I say a lot, if you ask the universe, it will respond. It will answer your question. The problem is sometimes we don't believe what we hear. We can't accept it. So if you say, you know, universe, is that my voice telling me I'm not smart enough? And if it says no, it's not your voice, right away, well, yeah, it is my voice. Because we don't believe how great we are, how amazing we can be, how there's nothing we can't do as human beings. We're too busy discounting it. So we start really buying into this pre-programming. And then it's up to you whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, and you look back and say, man, you know, I really was smart, or I really probably could have applied for that job. That's when you start asking, what if? You know, when you get about 40, sometimes 35, but usually about 40, 45, the kids are getting older, women always start asking, what if? What's next? Because, you know, you've got married, you have the kids, you do everything else for somebody else, and then it comes time to take time for yourself, and it's like, well, what's next? What should I do? And at that moment, it depends again. Are you going to listen to that inner voice? Are you going to listen to that inner voice saying, well, you're going to stay where you're at? You have a great job, or you have a great gig, or just be happy, you know, you got retirement in, you know, 10, 15, 20 years, just stay in place. And you should say, universe, is that me or is that my inner voice? And chances are the universe is going to say, your inner voice. Get your butt out there and apply and do what you really want to do. Quit, you know, puffing around. Quit shucking and jiving. Get going. Go follow your dream. And if you get to your dream, and I've had this happen, you get to your dream and you look around and say, I didn't want this. It was something, you know, you wanted to go after, and then you start going after, and it's like, well, no, I'd rather go this way. Because it doesn't matter if you're 80 years old, you probably have another 10, 15 years left. You always have time left. Always, whether it's an hour left, or weeks, or months, or years, or decades, or centuries. Well, centuries, who knows? Who knows where technology is going? You always have time. Always to do course corrections. Always to look around and say, what do I want to do? So tell your inner voices to shut the beep, beep up. Tell them no more. I am taking control of my inner voice. So you can follow your dream and be the person you are meant to be. Be the person you dream of being, and be the person that you really know you are. And if you need help with that, let me know. Reach out, ask questions. Attend, you know, I'm doing a September 29th event, The Art of Discovering the Magnificent You. Join us. It's in Peoria, Arizona. It's $40. $40 to walk away with. Is it your inner voice or is it you? How do you heal these childhood shadow imprints? How do you figure out what's stepping in your way? How do you figure out what mask, what emotional triggers you have? Because once you start figuring that stuff out, you will be absolutely positively, I promise you, unstoppable. Because when you start getting faith in yourself, when I started getting faith, when I started to go to college and teachers were like, you know, you can figure this out, it isn't that hard. And I started getting A's in college, and I started really getting decent jobs and putting, you know, the building blocks together. Sure, I failed, and sure, I got jobs. I was like, well, I don't want this job. That, you know, that's going to happen because the universe is going to guide you. Just keep going. Be great. Be you. Let me know if you have any questions. Remember, sharing is caring. Pass this on to your friends. Everybody, so many people right now looking around at what if, what's next, what am I supposed to do? How can I not get out of my own way? Let me help guide you. Let me give you some things to think about. That said, I didn't think about that. Let me give that one a ponder. Whatever I can do to help you move forward, I am here to do. Thanks a lot, you guys. Have a great day. Here's to love and gold dust in ear. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.